Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. I don't know if you've seen this in my previous videos, but I've been working on a 1968 Pontiac, trying to get that running for the first time in 23 years. That forced me to do a lot of work with the distributor, work with the timing, so I've learned a little bit, and I kind of need to see if I can address some issues that I'm having with my 85 C10. Pretty hard starting. Takes a long time to start up, usually revs really high when the choke is on, up to about 2,000 RPM. Takes a long time to warm up, and then once it gets going, it's got to shake. Usually it should be nice and smooth, so I'm assuming from the shake that it's got, there may be an issue with the timing. And I've never really worked with a running engine to try to get it perfectly timed, so this is the first time I'm going to be trying this. But I want to put the timing light on it and see if I can find out where we are in the timing. I want to see if I can, I've got a cheap little Chinese vacuum gauge, check to see if the vacuum gauge is showing me what I need to see, and see if we can improve it. So let's get to it. Alright, so let's see how she does. This is a cold start. Probably the first time it's been started in at least a week. Give it a couple of pumps. Now she does start up. Choke is working. Sounds pretty good. Get her warmed up. We'll drive it around a little bit. The other concern I've got is there's just a little too much shake to the engine. If you can kind of see this, I'm not sure if it'll pick it up on camera or not, but there's just a lot of vibration going on there. Now I've checked to make sure all the spark plugs are plugged in correctly. I've checked to make sure that the wires are all in the right spots. So I other than one cylinder that's missing that might cause that vibration, which brand new engine, can't imagine that one of the cylinders is not functioning. So I did check the wires, I did check to make sure that they were all tight, all of that. So let's go ahead and check and see what our timing looks like. Okay, I'm hoping you're going to be able to see it, but basically the timing marks are right down in here. Hopefully I've got enough light that you'll be able to see it. But yeah, it's right in here. So let's get her started. And see if that shows up. Got my timing light and we should be all ready to go. I just need to get some access to my distributor. Get this out of the way. And got my lockdown bolt right in there that I've got to loosen. And hopefully I'll be able to adjust the timing a little bit and see if I can improve that timing a little bit. See if I can get rid of some of the shake. So one of the things I want to do is literally block off my vacuum advance line to make sure that I'm getting an accurate timing reading. So that is the vacuum advance. I've got that blocked off. Also, I wanted to note, even though I capped off this hose, I realized I needed to actually cap off the carb so I'm not getting any air leaks in there too. So that's all capped off as well. Okay, so I've got the distributor loosened up. I can now turn it a little bit. Let's see where we are. See if we can make any improvements. Okay, so I realized there is a mark, but it's actually being hidden by this. So I couldn't really see it. What I did was take a little bit of my daughter's nail polish, and fortunately I made a blob more than a line, but at least I've got a mark there, and it's marked at 12 degrees after top dead center. I believe that's the correct term, or no, it's basically marked at 12 degrees, which is where we want it to be when it's idling. So I think that's why I was having a little bit of trouble seeing it. So I'm going to do it now again and see if the timing, what the timing light shows me. Alright, we moved up a little bit. That's where I want to be. One more time. Back up to 3,000. Okay, now I've got my vacuum gauge hooked up. I'm down here as close to the manifold as I can possibly get, and we're pretty close to set at 0. So let's see what we're looking at once we get this started up. Okay, so it looks like we've got pretty low vacuum. We want to be up into this green range. Let's see what we can do. Okay, I wasn't getting great numbers from that, so I wasn't really sure that these were set correctly. So what I did was actually turn both the idle mixture screws all the way in, not until they were hard, but until it stopped turning. Went back out 1.5 times on each one. Now let's see where we're at with that and see if it helps to back things out or move things back in again. think I've got the timing set. It's at 12 degrees before right now. My gauge and my vacuum that I've ordered on. Alright, so I think I'm going to give it a test drive. Really can't dial in that vacuum gauge. It was awfully loose on there. And I think maybe I needed a tighter vacuum line. But at least I think I have the timing set correctly. But again, just kind of want to drive it around a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, so the idle is a little higher. Certainly doesn't have that vibrating feeling that it had before. It's got a pretty good throttle response now. So that feels good. I mean, it's definitely improved. Again, it doesn't have that shake. Doesn't have that feeling like it's missing. But the only thing I couldn't do was sort of improve where I was on the vacuum gauge. No amount of turning really adjusted it too much. It either started getting worse or it stayed around that 10 to 15 range, which basically says late ignition timing on the gauge. But again, I don't know if that's because I didn't have a good seal on there or not. But she's definitely running better. Sounds good. So, trying to do a little investigation. Took off the cap that was on here, and it's probably only a couple of months old. But I was getting some serious air leakage from this. And this vacuum line as well, pretty, not sure if you can see it there, but just cracked all to hell. These are maybe a couple months old. So yeah, I was definitely getting a lot of air leakage, which might explain why I was having trouble with the vacuum gauges. So let's see if I can get that dialed in. Okay, so I got a new cap on here, got new vacuum hose. Yeah, so the next time I start this up, we should be good to go, making sure we're not having any vacuum leaks anymore. So let's see how she does on a cold start this time. Started right up. I only pumped it twice. Idling a lot better. She was at around 2,000 the last time as she was warming up. This time looks like it's about 1,600. So yeah, a lot happier. About as good as I can get it. Better than it was. Still seems to be running smooth, but I just can't get it to do any more than about 15. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think I should do. It's running better than it was. I cannot get that vacuum adjusted, but I will tell you this, I did try to turn both sides all the way down on that carburetor, both of the mixture screws all the way down. The car did not die, which means there still may be air getting in somewhere, I think. Let me know. But I think that's part of the problem, because usually they say if you can turn the screws all the way down to where they're closed, that the car should stall. And this truck just kept running. It was really close. It was down there at the bottom, just really hesitating. So, but yeah, I've dialed it in as much as I could. I don't want to keep futzing with it if I'm going to end up making it worse. But Yeah, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.